Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
We all know how the onset of a global pandemic in 2020 led to 3 national lockdowns in the UK and an interruption to life as we knew it. One benefit of the health crisis was a new appreciation of the importance of mental and physical fitness, and one leisure activity benefited more than most. In June 2020, it was announced during one of the government's coronavirus briefings that cycling in the UK had increased by as much as 200%. Bike sales boomed and demand from consumers outstripped supplies. This is Great British Bosses from Anything But Footy, and in this special edition we speak to 2 men hoping to harness this interest in cycling. Together they run a cycling academy for children based in Doncaster and with big ambitions. Shortly we'll hear from British professional road racing cyclist Briggs, but firstly his partner in the Clancy Briggs Cycling Academy. The 3-time Olympic champion Ed Clancy has been telling Michael where the idea first came from.
About 10 years ago, I was riding along with Graham, the other co-owner of the academy, and it was literally a decade ago now. He's quite a creative fellow. I think Graham's very right-brained, as people say. He just got talking, and he was talking about a fellow he knew that had a kids' football academy. And then we got talking, and we were like, wow, there's an academy for swimming, golf, cricket, rugby, tennis. Like, you name it, there's an academy out there for kids, just to go and have fun at the weekends and ride the bikes or whatever. And as it happens, there wasn't one for riding bikes. So I guess that's when the idea was spawned. And then really, there was a lot of talk for about 5 or 6 years and not a lot of action. But I guess as Graham's racing career started coming to a close, we started doing more and more, and we started having little structured meetings. And along with Graham's wife, Sam, who's much more intelligent than both of us put together, and she's a successful accountant and she understands business and so on. The 3 of us, really got to work, and we launched the Clancy Briggs Cycling Academy with the sole aim really of getting kids on bikes and having fun. If 1 or 2 of them go off to win the Tour de France, absolutely fantastic, but we're not about that really. We're just trying to get kids on bikes. We're all of the opinion that it's probably more difficult now than it's ever been. There's more traffic, and it's not like you can just sort of wobble down the road anymore and go to the playground. And yeah, we figured it'd be a good thing to do. And we're aware that cycling's doing really well, and it's continued to do really well during the pandemic. But I guess that means there's more new cyclists, new cycling parents. So we thought it'd be a great idea to launch a cycling academy for the kids.
You're based in Donny, but the work extends sort of beyond Yorkshire and nationwide. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so it made sense for us to kick off in Doncaster. They made this beautiful sort of paved cycle circuit off-road, if that makes sense. So like a 2-kilometre circuit right next to the Doncaster Dome, where you can go swimming and ice skating. And we sort of got in there, and we asked kindly if we could, have some of the track time solely for us and sort of exclusively for our sessions. And there were they were pretty on board with the idea right from the gun, and they've been very helpful, to be fair. We really started off in one of the best facilities in the world. Yeah, like you said, we started in Doncaster, and it's still really based around there. We do a couple of schools in the area as well. But what we're really doing is we're just trying to refine this branch, So we've started doing Zoom coaching across the nation, and we can coach kids across the nation sort of, online. But in terms of like the actual classes, we're just trying to get essentially like a little Doncaster franchise nailed. And, as soon as we've done that, we've already got requests, down south in Wales, up north, for franchises elsewhere. But we've just got to nail down what works, what doesn't work so well. And then once we've got that pinned down, we're going to start franchising it across the country, hopefully. And then the ultimate goal is to have a Clancy Briggs franchise in every sort of major town or city across the UK. I'm not sure it'll be like football, where every little hamlet and village has got a football academy, but for sure, I believe there's enough cyclists out there to make it work in every major town and city.
And listening to you talk, this isn't just something that Ed Clancy's put his name to because he's got 3 Olympic gold medals. This is something you're properly invested in. Yeah,
absolutely. Big time. What can I say? I've always had more ambition than talent, but I just believe in it, and I'm in there, I own half the business along with Graham, and I'm passionate about it and I want it to work. And this isn't just like a sponsorship deal where you lend your name to someone in exchange for a few quid. I put money into this to start it up. And, so far, I haven't taken a penny out of it in return. I just want this to work. I want to sort of franchise it across the UK. And like I said, there's an academy for everything apart from cycling. And, from what we've seen so far in Doncaster, there is a want for it. There's a need for it. And I don't think cycling is going to go away. I think there's all sorts of reasons that cycling's good. I'm not just talking about sport here, just commuting and getting out. And with coronavirus, we've really had it rubbed in our faces just how important physical and mental health is. I get so many people coming up to me these days that, during lockdown, the one thing people have been able to do is get out on the bike for a little pedal, and people enjoy it. It's not just good for fighting illness and staying healthy and so on. It's good for people's mental health, whether you're young or old, and I'm proud to be supporting that in some small way.
More from Ed Clancy shortly. Whilst Ed and his partner Graham Briggs are now business partners in the Clancy Briggs Cycling Academy, the professional relationship came about after the two developed a firm friendship, originally as teammates.
I've been on teams, just to say, with Ed on and off since 2010 roughly, cycling teams on the same cycling team. So I've always got on really well with Ed, and it was my roommate that we always shared, and we always got on well, and it went from there really. And then we've created a really good friendship, and started speaking about doing some kind of a cycling academy where we could introduce kids to having fun riding bikes. So trying to get them off of iPads and things like that. Just to get outside and enjoy the fresh air like me and Ed did, and when we were younger, enjoying the freedom what a bicycle gives you.
Because football clubs have academies, rugby clubs, county cricket, lots of sports have academies, but this is a fairly unique thing in terms of cycling, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A lot of people, when we started off, was saying said it was difficult to get into cycling clubs. It was kind of a quite closed community and hard to find out. So we're trying to break down those barriers and make it as easy as possible for people to get into. Whether it's getting kids on bikes, just having fun, or kids racing.
What have the users, what have the young people been saying to you about the opportunity to get out on their bikes when for so long we've been told to stay indoors and been locked inside because we've had to be?
During lockdown, we moved a lot of the sessions online and tried to encourage the children to keep active. And we've done stretching workshops and exercise classes just to keep them engaged really. And so when we did start back with the face-to-face sessions, that we could hit the ground running again and back coaching face-to-face, and the numbers have been incredible compared to when we started at the beginning. So there's 2 or 3 new faces each classes, and we did holiday camps morning and afternoons, and they were fully booked. So it's really taking shape.
We all know about people going walking, people going running, and people going cycling have been so important for not just physical well-being, but mental well-being as well. Is your kind of research, your background suggested that getting on your bike is a good thing for people to be doing?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's great for your physical health and mental health. A lot of the time when I go out on my bike, that's where I do a lot of my thinking time and think of sessions that we could use for the kids. And yeah, it's just nice to get out in the fresh air and free your mind.
Tell us a little bit about yourself then. Where did you start? You had a prestigious professional cycling career as well, which we'll come on to, but where did it start for you?
Funnily enough, I was playing football for like local clubs, and I got scouted for Doncaster Rovers, and I was just getting into that, and then I started to go out cycling. I changed from football to cycling, and started working in a local bike shop, and they pointed me in the direction of doing some races, and it went from there.
And in terms of your career, what kind of heights did you reach? What were the best bits, the highlights for you, Graham?
Probably going to the World Championships as under 23. That's one of the biggest races that I was part of. And yeah, I was fairly new to cycling. I'd only been cycling 2 or 3 years when I got the chance to represent my country. So yeah, I was a little bit of a duck out of water, but yeah, I didn't turn down the opportunities.
And was it always road cycling for you? Did you look at track, BMX, mountain bike? There's so many disciplines now.
I started off by doing cyclocross and mountain bike races. So I saw all these people in Lycra and thinking, I don't want to do that. And I wanted to do some mountain biking. So I started off by doing some cyclocrosses, which is, it's like on a road bike, but you've got knobbly tyres. So I started off by doing that and then did some mountain bike. And then the country was hit with foot and mouth, so we couldn't do like any off-road cycling. So that's when I turned to road, really, doing some local evening league cycling and won a few of those, and then started doing some national stuff. And then I got third in the junior national championships, and then never really went back to mountain biking after that, and then just carried on with road and went from there. When
did you first meet Ed Clancy, and what did you think of him?
He's a great guy, very down to earth. You wouldn't think that he's not big-headed at all. He's got three gold medals. We try and meet up once a week on the bike. He lives over at home first, so it's about a 2-hour ride for me, but it's good to get over his way and into the hills and suffer a little bit. And we can chat about the academy and ask him how things are going. So that's pretty good.
Obviously, Yorkshire is such a county synonymous with cycling. The Grand Depart in Leeds in 2014 was huge. We've had subsequent editions of the Tour de Yorkshire as well. So in terms of the geography of where you're based in Donny, you couldn't be in a better county for harnessing the power of getting on the bike, could you?
No, not for the kids that want to race. There's such a massive cycling community in Doncaster. The group rides that I grew up with and the people that took me under the wing, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the community in Doncaster. You've got group rides that go out on a Tuesday, a Thursday, a Saturday, a Sunday, morning and evening. So that's what kept me getting out of the door in the morning, meeting those groups. When motivation wasn't, when I was a professional cyclist, motivation wasn't always high, but when you get out and have a chat with your friends, that's I think that's the biggest thing about cycling. You have such a laugh, but you keep them fit as well. And
from Donny to global domination and franchises of the Clancy Briggs Cycling Academy right across the world. Yeah, definitely. That's the vision for the Clancy Briggs Cycling Academy, is to franchise it across the UK, and we've had plenty of interest so far. So we'll keep taking baby steps, but that's definitely the vision.
Graham Briggs, one of the founders of the Clancy Briggs Cycling Academy. Let's hear more from his partner Ed Clancy now, who told Michael about what it is he loves about getting out on his bike.
I just love it. I don't know what keeps me coming back. You know, it's what got me into cycling in the first place. I just like being outside on two wheels, and you know, when we're allowed and you get a few mates along for the ride, it's great. You know, there's I like the teamwork, I like the camaraderie of it. I like the fact that you can all sort of suffer together and have a laugh and a joke. And yeah, I mean, obviously the racing's a completely different dimension, but you know, I'll still go out on my mountain bike at the weekend and have a laugh with my mates. I just, I guess it's freedom, you know, it's freedom. You can kind of express yourself on two wheels, and I like it. Yeah.
There was obviously no Clancy Briggs Cycling Academy when you started, but how did it begin for you?
Yeah, pure accident, really, I guess. So I grew up around Denby Dale, Huddersfield sort of area. And I always had bikes as a kid, usually just terrible hand-me-downs off my big brother that were just kind of holding together. And I wasn't from a cycling family. My brother wasn't into cycling. I don't know why I took to it. I enjoyed other sports. I enjoyed sort of, you know, hitting a ball with a cricket bat and kicking a football around randomly as well. But cycling was my thing. It always was. I enjoyed playing on my BMX and mountain bikes. And when I got a paper round, I used to spend every penny I made sort of like, you know, getting a new set of brakes or a new tire for a mountain bike. And I just enjoyed it. I didn't have any ambition. I didn't want to be somebody or do anything. It was just fun. You know, in many ways as a kid, I didn't know where I was going or what I was doing. But I was lucky enough that my stepdad bought me a racing bike, and he was the one that really encouraged me to have a go at racing and perhaps take it a little bit more seriously and even think about some sort of future in it. And I guess as soon as he planted that idea, yeah, it just grew and grew. And I wouldn't say I had an abundance of talent as a teenager, but I enjoyed the racing. I got stuck in. And again, another happy coincidence, really. There was a fella called Peter Root from the Home Valley Wheelers, and he sort of recommended that I went to British Cycling and applied for their talent team, it was called, which was, I guess, like the national under-16 program. But long story short, we got on the program and we sort of hit the targets. You've got to pass a little interview test, a sprint test, an endurance test, and we tick the boxes. And I guess once you're on that conveyor belt, you know, we've seen how successful British cycling is and all the support that UK sport's done. And I owe those guys a lot, really, because, you know, without that, we wouldn't be sat here 3 gold medals later.
And you timed it perfectly, didn't you, really? Because you arrived on the scene just as British cycling was going supersonic.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember, like it was yesterday, being sat in the living room in the old house in Home Firth, which is just up the hill. And Jason Quealy got his gold medal in the year 2000. And at the time, I was inspired by that, you know, and I was lucky enough to do a bit of competition and, you know, riding with Jason himself. But I had no idea of the consequences, really. But what happened there when Jason got that first gold medal is the funding came in. And then 4 years later, you know, I was part of the program, and then Chris Soy and the team sprint sort of went on to win another handful of gold medals. And then again, we get more money and the whole program snowballs once again. But who knows where we would have been or wouldn't have been without that gold medal from Jason in the first place. You know, there wouldn't have been, well, there potentially wouldn't have been the money for the sort of talent scouting schemes that I was lucky enough to catch a ride on. So, yeah, it's funny how things happen.
How proud is that boy from Huddersfield to have been part of that British cycling success?
Hey, you know, I'm proud to have done my best. You know, I feel like looking back, you know, particularly for the big ones, I have committed myself well and I've done a good job. But I don't know, we've spoke before. I don't consider myself anything other than a normal bloke, you know, that's likes riding his bike.
Let's go back to the academy and let's talk a little bit about Yorkshire and cycling, because with the Tour de Yorkshire, obviously Grand Depart was in Leeds back in 2014. Are you hoping to tap into that real feel-good factor there is about your sport in the White Rose County?
Hey, I hope so, you know. And the Tour of Yorkshire for sure was a great thing. And I know it's been put on hold the last year or so, but hopefully that'll be back. You know, there's no point in me telling them how great I am. What those kids need to hear is how great they can be, you know, whether it's the weekend warriors enjoying riding their bikes, whether they're Olympians, Tour de France stars, whatever. I just want to sort of hold up a shining light for cycling.
And we wish Ed Clancy every success with the Clancy Briggs Cycling Academy. after his retirement from competitive cycling following the delayed Tokyo Olympics.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.